This research project addresses the need we have for public communication technologies, specifically the Citizens Band radio. I will investigate the history of the CB radio, the language that it brought with its use, as well as the impact that it had on present media forms. The Citizens Band radio is a system of short-distance radio communications between individuals on multiple channels. The CB radio is an important public communication technology with a history starting in 1948. Citizens Band channels are shared by many users. Only one station may transmit at a time. Other stations must listen and wait for a shared channel to be available. The radio did not gain popularity until 1973 as a result of the U.S. oil crisis, wherein the government imposed a nationwide 55 miles per hour speed limit. Truck drivers were significantly affected by the speed limit, as most of them were paid by the mile. This meant that their productivity and income was significantly affected. The truckers used their radio to avoid speed traps, communicate low gas prices, and eventually chit-chat. Conversations could be struck up, debates were had, and information was freely and collectively shared. New forms of culture and community were nurtured. Automobile drivers were aware of the truckers' use of the CB through popular culture accounts and began to adopt it themselves. CB's peak of popularity was from the mid-1970s through the 1980s, when as many as 20 million CBs were said to be in use. Here's an example of a popular culture artifact depicting the CB radio. The video also shows the language used when communicating through the radio, where you can see how the population could have romanticized the CB's language. The clips are from a popular culture film named Smokey and the Bandit. The CB radio is unique as there is no archive of the communication that was had between the drivers.
Breaker one, this is the Bandit, it's a snowman out there. Am I hitting you, son? Mercy sakes, you put about 8.5 on me. Blowing the windows down, bring it on. And 4.
Westbound and down, 18 wheels rolling. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm westbound, just watch old Bandit run.
I got the metal to the pedal and the thing to the floor.
Snowman, you got your ears on?
This is Foxy Lady Bandit. We heard you were coming by, and we decided we'd take care of those bears for you.
You son of a bitch. Don't you cuss on this here radio.
It's just good old boy language. I've never known anybody who got on a CB radio in America, whether he lived in Michigan, and suddenly got very southern. This is the Gray Beaver, and I have a flat tire, and another guy says, this is the Brown Fox. Where are you? I'm on Road 99, and he says, I'll be right over, and 11 people stop and help you change the tire. Now, why that happens because you have a radio, I assume it's because you suddenly imagine that you're a St. Bernard dog, you know, running to help somebody.
Now put the pedal to the metal. I'm 10-10 on the side. Show. Me and Fred here. We got your back door, Henry Fred.
The language came about so that, which is ridiculous, but it was originated by the truckers, because the truckers were their own fraternity, and they didn't want a civilian, in other words, a guy in a car, to pick up a CB and understand all the lingo of the truckers.
Hey, would a cop taking a leak on the side of the road interest you?
He's taking a 10-100.
Well, at least it's better than 10-200.
What's your 20?
Well, I'm about 4 miles ahead of you, Turkey.
Not for long.
Now, you know them Smokies, they got them CBs in their car now. You know that.
I know that. I haven't worked that out yet, but I'm thinking about it.
Look, I'm gonna drop the little dolly here off at a choke and puke, and then I'm gonna get right back on the job.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper, and make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
I'm about to be killed in this moving CB radio show, and I don't even have a handle.
Bandit, this here's the grave robber.
Bandit, honey, this is the good witch of the north speaking.
My handle's Silver-Tongued Devil, and I'm here to tell you your fellow CBers are mighty proud of you out there. Come on.
Is that Hop Pants Hilliard I hear yakking out there?
And who wants to know?
This is a Bandit, darling.
Well, where are you, you bodied-up, smooth-talking thing?
As you can see from the clips shown, that a variety of metaphors emerged as a result of the CB radio communications. Some of them include lot lizard, which means prostitute, greasy side down, which means be safe, don't flip the truck, go-go girls, a load of actual pigs, warden, the wife, check the seat covers, which meant watch out for a car with a pretty female driver or passenger, beaver, gal, other half, or female CBer, flip-flop, going to turn around and go the other way, what's your 20, what's your location, bear was police, a polar bear was a white unmarked police chase car, back off the hammer meant slow down or take your foot off the gas, a choke and puke was a truck stop. So, what happened to the CB radio? CB lost much of its original appeal due to the development of mobile phones. In addition, it may have become a victim of its own popularity, with millions of users on a finite number of frequencies. Channels were often noisy and communication difficult. CB radio is not a completely dead medium because truckers still use the CB network to broadcast vital information. It is also used in rural areas when mobile signals are out of reach. New communication technologies often emerge as a result of weakness of existing communication technologies. The limitation of the CB radio was the anonymity of the users, as well as short distances in which they could be used. In my paper, I plan to draw on the many similarities between Twitter and the CB radio. As most of you know, Twitter is an online social networking and microblogging service that enables its users to send text-based messages of up to 140 characters known as tweets. The methods of communication are constantly evolving. As Carey puts it, to study communication is to examine the actual social process wherein significant symbolic forms are created, apprehended, and used. We not only produce reality, but we must likewise maintain what we have produced. For there are always new generations coming along for whom our productions are incipiently problematic and for whom reality must be regenerated and made authoritative. New communication technologies emerge, and with them the production of different forms of social relations. Communication mediums are representations for communications as they guide the processes of human interaction. The similarities between the CB radio and Twitter are not the technologies, but the ritual of how they are used. Both of them involve specific rules of communications. They introduced a new language. These medias are supported by certain types of knowledge. In a 1977 interview, Michel Foucault discusses how the apparatus has as its major function the response to an urgency. The current trend is toward a closer relationship to a technological gadget rather than a human being. With a greater privatization of spaces comes a need to feel connected. Like the CB radio, Twitter creates miniature communities of geography and interest, sharing links to news from professional outlets and also contributing their own reports of virtual communication. Although communication technologies often become obsolete as new forms emerge, the need to witness, inform, and share will always be present.
If you wanna have some fun, get yourself a CB. Turn that channel to 19. If you don't believe me, go ahead and key the mic. Act just like a pro. Say breaker break, somebody will say